What's up YouTube, the Rain Man here. In this video we'll be talking about the upcoming secret dungeon that Come To Us has given us this weekend. This weekend it's going to be the Wind Imp Champion by the name of Pigma. Sure I got that name wrong, so I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Anyway, you can always find me on channel 2365 on the global server. You can also see my Swar Farm page in the description below. Alright, so the secret dungeon is going to be open this weekend from May 19th at 12 p.m. to May 22nd at 12 a.m. Of course, this is based on the server time. As they've noted, you get the pieces to summon a 3-star imp champion. It's also a good source of mana stones. So, once this dungeon is open, it'll be available in the Kairos dungeons. You will need 40 pieces to summon this monster. As you go through, I think if you complete wave 1, if you complete wave 4, you get 1 piece. If you complete wave 5, of course this is completing it, not just making it to it, you have to actually finish it. If you finish wave 4, you get 1 piece. Finish wave 5, you get 1 piece with a chance of 2. If you finish wave 6, you get 2. If you finish wave 7, you get 2 pieces with a chance of 3. If you finish wave 8, you get 3 pieces. Finish wave 9, you get a chance of 3 pieces with a chance of a 4th piece. And if you completely beat all 10 waves, you get 4 pieces, guaranteed every time. So, 10 complete runs is going to get you 1 monster. Yeah, 10 runs will get you enough to summon 1. So, what does the Imp Champion do? Let's see if I can get to him here. He should be too far into here. Did I look past him? I think I did. Where's he at? Looking right at him. There he is. Alright, so Imp Champion, or Pigma. His first skill charges towards the enemy with a spear to inflict continuous damage for 1 turn with a 50% chance. Increases your attack power for 2 turns if you get a critical hit. His second skill takes a defensive stance, recovering 25% of his HP and counterattacking for 2 turns. And his third is actually a passive, embraces the power of thunder, granting all attacks a 35% chance to stun the target. So this is a defense monster, but it doesn't really have any defense-based attacks. So that's a con going for him right there. Like I said, he's going to be his defense is going to be higher than his attack, but he has no actual defense-based attacks. In fact, he only has 1 attack, which is a chance to do a continuous damage. His passive gives him a chance to actually stun on every attack, including his counters. If he does the second skill, it also gives him a chance to stun with a counter, which isn't too bad. But it's not going to be the greatest of monsters. I believe the wind, the wind one's kind of got a meta going on right now, where a lot of people recently a lot of people have been trying to build him for dragons. So you could probably use this one to skill him up. So this monster right here, don't really think there's a whole lot. He's going to be good for you. You might can use him in Giants B10, not dragons. Giants B10. If you're stuck on a water floor, if you're trying to build up, if you're still low level and you're not quite completed B10 on any of the Giants, Dragons, or Necro, you might could use him there. Like I said, he's got attack-based attacks, but he's a defense-based monster. So it's one of those oddball monsters where they're built their stats show one thing, but their attacks do something else. So, I think a good example of that would be, I think it was JoJo, the Fire Joker. He's a defense monster, but he has no defense attacks. So, this monster's mostly probably food. Don't really see a whole lot of use for him other than maybe skilling up the water one if you got that built. I think the light one and the dark ones are decent. Of course, like I said, they're dark, light and dark, so they really have no real elemental deal. Looks like, yeah, another. Looks like the light one's also a defense-based monster with no defense-based attacks. So maybe not. But so this is probably gonna be mostly used for either skill ups for Yaku. Yeah, if you're running that meta or you want to run that meta with the Water Imp champion in the Dragon's B10 dungeon. I think the fire one was not too bad. So what's he got? So we got continuous damage, of course, like the other one. Plus damage proportional to the target's max HP. And plus continuous damage for 2 turns if you get a critical hit. Throws a ball in flames to attack all enemies 2 times and inflicts continuous damage for 2 turns. So fire's not bad. Actually, if you have a fire one, you probably could use him when you're running the dungeon. So if you're running the secret dungeon, you probably could use him. He's got an AoE hit. So there is an AoE hit there. I could probably use this one to skill up the water and the fire one. Those are probably the ones that's mostly used. I don't see this one being used for a whole lot. Maybe an arena defense, maybe if you're real early game. But because he does have that counter with a self heal with a counter on his second skill. Plus he stuns on the third hit. Plus it's a passive that stuns. So you might could use him for that. If you're actually going to running this dungeon, you're probably going to want a couple of monsters you want to bring. Roke, the Fire Inugami. You can actually farm him from the Famine scenario. He's got a defense break on his first move. He actually takes someone with him to attack with his second skill. I think he also has a chance to hit multiple times on one move. And also, if he gets a kill, he gets to go again. So if you get him built up with some pretty good attack stats on him, he can probably clear a floor out for you. Another monster you may want to take in here is Juno, which was a recent Hall of Heroes, the Fire Samurai. He does have an AoE attack. Of course, it's a fire monster, so it's going to be pretty beneficial against a wind dungeon. So Juno might not be a bad one if you have one of those built. You might could take that Fire Samurai in there with you. Veramos, if you've got him fused, he does have an AoE stun. So his stomps does damage and has a chance to stun. So you might could use him as well. Speed leads. Any monster that actually, any wind, fire, light, or dark monsters are going to be pretty good in here, especially if you have AoEs. So, probably want to avoid bringing water monsters too much in here. So, but like I said, the dungeon shouldn't be too I don't think the dungeon's going to be that difficult. Like I said, if you have a Rogue or a June, or if you have both of them, so probably be a bad monster to bring along into this dungeon here. But the monster, I don't see the monster being a whole lot useful. It's going to be pretty niche usage. Considering that his attacks and his stats don't really line up. So, but there you go. That's going to be a secret dungeon and some tips on how to actually run through the dungeon and acquire the monsters. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. And until next time, have fun. Later.